Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into something called DAX. That's DAX, which stands for Data Analysis Expressions. Now, you can think of it as the secret brain inside tools like Microsoft Power BI. It's the language that lets us go beyond just looking at data and actually start asking it some really tough questions. So, let's get into it.
This quote just hits the nail on the head, right? It perfectly captures this huge challenge that so many businesses face. You're sitting on this absolute mountain of data, but trying to find the actual story, the real meaning hidden inside all those numbers, that can feel next to impossible.
And yeah, that feeling of data overload, it's totally paralyzing. It makes it incredibly difficult to make those quick, sharp decisions that are just so essential in the world we live in today. It's not enough to just have the data. You've got to be able to do something with it.
So how do we get from that mountain of raw data to a story that actually makes sense? Well, it's a journey, and it's got a few key steps. Once we've prepared the data, we get into the really interesting parts, the model and visualize phases. This is where we start building the logic and creating those reports. And one of the best tools for the job is Microsoft Power BI, which is where our secret weapon really comes into play.
Okay, so Power BI is this incredible suite of tools that's built specifically for this job. It can connect to all your different data sources and helps you transform all that raw info into these dynamic, interactive dashboards that you can share with pretty much anyone.
So what's the secret sauce here? What's the engine running under the hood that performs all this magic? How does it let us ask our data these really complex questions and get back these beautiful, clear answers in a chart or a graph?
Well, the answer is DAX. This is the language we use, especially in those model and visualize stages, to create custom calculations. And they usually come in two main flavors. You've got measures, which are these really dynamic calculations that change based on what you click on in a report, like calculating total sales for just one region you select. And then you have calculated columns, which let you add new, fixed information to your tables. Both of them are absolutely essential for making your data come alive.
To really get a feel for what DAX can do, let's break down a super simple but really powerful formula. And what we're looking at here is a perfect example of a measure. It's a calculation that's going to give us a single summary value.
The formula is simply average internet sales extended sales amount. Now this might look pretty straightforward, but this one little line of code is asking our data model a very specific question. It's saying, hey, go find the internet sales table, look at the extended sales amount column, and tell me the average of all the numbers in there.
And this is what I love about DAX. The syntax, the way it's structured, just makes sense. Every formula follows this logic. You start with the function, what you want to do. Then you point it to the table, where the data lives. And finally, you tell it which column to use. It's so clean and readable.
But you might be thinking, hey, Excel can calculate an average. And you're absolutely right. So what's the big deal? Well, the real power of DAX isn't just that it can do the math. It's the deep, built-in intelligence for how it handles data accurately.
Okay, and this is where DAX really shows its genius. It automatically knows the difference between a missing value and a zero. See, if a cell is empty, a blank, DAX just ignores it in the average calculation. But if a cell actually has a zero in it, DAX includes it, which correctly lowers the average. That small difference is absolutely critical if you want results you can actually trust. All right, so let's zoom out a bit. How does this one little function, when you start combining it with hundreds of others, actually power the kinds of reports that business leaders rely on every single day?
Think about all those dashboards you see. Every single one of these crucial insights, tracking sales funnels, comparing how different products are doing, just like in that EduClass case study. All of it is unlocked by DAX formulas working hard behind the scenes. DAX is the engine doing all those calculations, letting you slice and dice your data in any way you can possibly imagine.
And that really brings us to the ultimate goal here. We're not just crunching numbers for the fun of it. We are using DAX as a tool to build a bridge that takes us from that messy raw data on one side all the way over to a clear, compelling story on the other side, a story that can actually drive real decisions. So, when you boil it all down, learning DAX isn't just about mastering a new language. It's about giving yourself the power to move beyond just looking at data and to actually start asking it questions, to start uncovering those incredible narratives that are hiding just beneath the surface. So the only question left is, what story will you tell?